back to PXL. Gigi here, and with me, of course, is our beautiful co-host, Lou.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
So how are you, Lou?
Exhausted.
Exhausted, yes.
Really tired.
Work will do that. Day jobs.
9 to 5 job, man.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
It'd be awesome if we could just hunt ghosts like 24/7. Mm-hmm. But that's a no-go, and they won't let us do that. I don't even know who they is, but it's fine. It has been a long week, but it's good to be back in the studio.
It just started.
And
too. It's only Tuesday.
Just started what? Oh, the week. I know. Yeah. I'm like, tomorrow's the halfway point. So we'll get there. It'll be fine. But we got to look forward to recording today, so we were really excited about that, actually. So it's been a while, really.
Yeah, it's been a few months.
Mm-hmm. Because we recorded those ones, and yeah.
Yeah.
But I think now we're going to, the schedules have opened up a little bit more for us to be able to set a day and time to be able to do this and hold ourselves accountable to make sure that we are recording and keeping up with everything so we don't go MIA again.
On Fridays.
Yes.
Yeah.
But with that being said, so yeah, the network is taking off, which is awesome. So if you haven't yet, please go to thexlnetwork.com and you can see all the shows that we have on there. We have sports, paranormal, obviously, true crime,
cooking,
mental health stuff on there.
40 and Feral. I don't know.
Yep, 40 Feral and fun.
I don't know what that category is.
So much fun. That's a lot of fun to do. It's a lot of fun to listen to. Those are only 15-minute episodes, so they're a mini cast, if you will. So yeah, those are fun. We got shows of all sorts for everybody. We got more coming too that will be a lot of fun. And also, the first rollout is all audio, hence podcast. And then we'll go to webcast. Will be coming out as well. But one thing at a time so we don't get overwhelmed. So there will be some paranormal videos and shows in there too. So those of you, obviously, because we're on PXL right now, that will be what you guys want to look for. So anyway, back to the situation at hand. Today we are going to go over some Reddit stories. And
paranormal Reddit stories.
Yes, paranormal, freaky Reddit stories. We will let Lou go first. Wow. Maybe I'm stroking out from today. We're each going to read one, and then after we each read ours, we will discuss it a little bit and go from there. So go ahead, Lou. Is there anything else you want to say?
This one is posted by Unknown. This one is a doozy, so buckle in. I live on the border of Colorado and Wyoming in the middle of bumfuck nowhere on a 10-acre ranch. Now our house is on a trailer, but it's on cinder blocks if that makes sense. The road by our house used to be a part of the Pony Express. We believe our ranch is on an Indian burial ground, and to make things really popular, Bison Ranch not too far from us, called the Terry Bison Ranch, has found TP rings on their property. Our neighbors who we get hay from, part of their house used to be a part of an old railway station, a railway line before the Golden Spike, and the railroad is no longer there anymore. So long story short, our land and the land around us has a lot of history. On to the paranormal stuff. My mother owns some stuff that was my great-grandmother's, and she is dead. Well, way to be blunt. Wow. Sorry. This first incident, one my stepdad had long ago while starting this journey. My stepdad, who is basically my best friend, has diabetes, and he has trouble sleeping. So in the middle of the night, he goes out, grabs a snack, and sits down at the table and eats it, goes back to bed. Well, one night he got up and he saw an old lady walk from our kitchen to our laundry room. The next morning he told all of us about it. My stepdad is a jokester that likes to get you all worked up, so nobody believed him. Well, that night was the start of things that occurred on our ranch that we cannot explain, and we 100% believe it is something paranormal because of all of us had our experiences. Now, my family wasn't new to the paranormal. We stayed at the Old Western Hotel down near Durango, and we heard kids laughing in the hallway in the dead of night. And we opened the door to find that nobody was there. We were the only kids in the hotel. Now, I was a baby, so technically the story I'm about to tell you is my first paranormal experience. My first experience happened outside. See, my stepbrothers like to come over every once in a while, and when they do, we like to play a game called hide and seek in the dark. The game is simple. Me and my two brothers and my sister go outside in pitch black and play hide and seek. We all get a flashlight, and you can go anywhere on the ranch, and if you're tagged, you're it first the next round. Well, since I was the youngest, I went first. See, my older stepbrother is prone to hide in the strangest places. One time he hid in the dumpster while I was walking over towards our barn, and there is an overhang next to a door that leads inside. I saw a black shadow standing there, and I immediately assumed it was my stepbrother. Before I get farther, let's assign everyone's fake names so we don't get mixed up. Mom is Mom, stepdad is Zachary, stepbrother is Tyrese, younger stepbrother is Timberlake, older sister is Teresa, younger sister is Amanda. Okay, now everyone has names. Well, I assume this black shadow is Tyrese, so I turn off my flashlight so he doesn't see me. Then I begin to approach the shadow, starts to move. You see if you follow the barn, there is a wooden fence that connects the barn and the chicken coop. So when I approach this shadow, it begins to go down that way toward the chicken coop, so I follow it. And my plan was, when it turned to the corner, I was going to jump out and get him. So the shadow turns the corner, and I turned the corner, and nobody was there. I looked everywhere, under the trailer, inside the chicken coop, around the chicken coop, everywhere, and there was no one. Strange, so I think I just must have lost Tyrese. Skip to the part where I find Tyrese, Timberlake, and Amanda. And they were on the other side of the ranch altogether. So when I caught them, I asked who was over by the overhang at the barn. They all start laughing. What's so funny? Timberlake says, What, are you fucking blind? We were over there the whole time. Mind you, they were on the complete other side of the property. My stomach dropped. I didn't tell them what I saw because I didn't think they would believe me. A few weeks later, Tyrese and Timberlake leave. A few nights after they left, me and Zachary and Teresa were eating dinner. Zachary says, "What's that over by the barn?" We all proceed to stare out the back glass door. We all looked out there, and there was an apparition of a man, clear as day, that ran into one of the stables with our jersey. Now, where this stable was right next to the overhang where I saw the shadow. Zachary grabs our double-barrel 12-gauge and heads out to the stable. He looks from the outside of the panels doesn't see anybody. He comes inside, and the first thing that he said was, "Y'all thought I was fucking crazy when I said I seen an old lady in here. Well, now you are all crazy too, because I know you saw the man over there in those stables." Me and Teresa looked at each other, and I said, "Holy shit, you're not crazy. I saw that, and Teresa saw that as well. What the fuck is going on?" Remember how I said my stepdad Zachary was like my best friend? Well, the night I saw the shadow, I told them what I saw, so we started connecting the dots after this incident. We saw that shadow again by the stable a month later. We believe the spirits at this house are friendly, and we think some of the spirits are Native American spirits because we think our house is on an Indian burial ground because we have found arrowheads on our property. Zachary is a heavy machinery mechanic, and on his way home from work, they had found a confirmed Indian burial ground next to the highway. Well, he stole an arrowhead from the place they had dug up at the burial ground, so that doesn't help our case. Now this is where shit starts to get crazy. Teresa is home alone outside and hears inside the house what she describes as sledgehammers pounding on the cabinet doors. The volume was undescribable, she claims. At this point, we had made the paranormal thing a joke. Like if something fell, we said, "That damn Indian knocking everything down." We had kinda just accepted the fact that our house was haunted. Well, Tyrese and Timberlake had come back over again for a few weeks. One night, I'm in my room playing with my model trains when the door opens. Not by a lot, but opens and then shuts. Now I saw feet at the bottom of my door when this happened, so I thought that Tyrese had picked his head up, came in to check on me. I opened my door and said, "Tyrese, what do you need? Or did you need anything?" Tyrese is at the sink in the kitchen with Zachary washing dishes. "Huh? Do you need something? What are you talking about? I saw you come to my room. What do you need?" "I've been here the whole time. What are you talking about?" I can tell when Tyrese is joking or not, and he was dead serious. I explained to him what happened, and they both said that they were there the whole time. And Timberlake was outside with Teresa. My mother was in her bedroom across the house. I thought that was super weird. Now this is where shit gets super real. The next night, Tyrese is hungry and grabs a snack. He sits down at the table, looks up, and across from him at the table was an old lady. It startled him, and he jumped out of his chair. The next morning, he told us about the incident, and Zachary proceeded to say, "I told you I'm not fucking crazy." Skip to the next few days, and Tyrese is with my mom, and they are looking through a photo album. Something catches Tyrese's eye, and he tells my mom to stop and not flip the page. He then proceeds to point at a woman who he has never met or seen in his life. And he didn't even know her name, and he said, "That's the lady I saw at the table sitting across from me." The lady who he had just pointed to was my deceased great-grandmother. Zachary claims that this was the woman who he saw walking from the kitchen to the laundry room. A few months later, I'm in the kitchen, home alone with Amanda, and I were washing dishes. I was washing the dishes, and I felt a tap on my shoulder, like a full-on felt a hand on my shoulder. I swung around, and Amanda was across the kitchen. I asked her, Did you touch me?" "No." "Well, somebody did." "Okay, sure." She didn't believe me. Now, for the past year, everything seemed to have calmed down until just 3 months ago. Zachary said that his cabinet door was always open. He would shut it, get in the shower, get out, and it would be open again. One of our dogs, if he went into the bathroom with that cabinet, he would always be sure to lock it up. Well, I was home alone all by myself one day, and I experienced the same thing Zachary did. I was cleaning and his cabinet door was open. I closed it. Came back to the bathroom and the cabinet door was open again, and it can't just swing open. If you were to open it just a teeny bit, it would close because of the hinges. It has to be open all the way to stay open. This happened just about a month ago. I was sitting on the couch with my dog, and she is a blue heeler. And when she looks at something, you can tell when she is. I was sitting on the couch with her, and she suddenly looks into the hallway that leads into my room. Keep in mind, I always shut my door, and that way our dogs don't get into my room and chew something up. Well, she gets up off the couch, still looking into the hallway while walking towards it, and then stops. Still having her ears perked up, she continues walking again and turns to look into my room. My door was wide open, and the light was off, and you couldn't see a thing. Well, I was behind her, and she was staring into my room with her ears perked up. Then she cocked her head and began barking violently at nothing. That gave me chills. Finally, the last incident that has happened recently. Zachary had gotten up from his midnight snack. I was up, and so I had a snack with him, and we talked for a bit, when all of a sudden we hear footsteps at the front door, and they went into Zachary and my mom's bedroom. Then we didn't hear them anymore until we heard a growl come from their room. We both exchanged words about what we had just heard and agreed that we had just heard correctly and had heard the same thing. My mother also claims that she has heard something fidgeting with the front door. Well, I hope you enjoyed my haunted house stories about true things that have happened to me. There were some trigger incidences that happened, but I can't remember them right now. I do have some pictures of where some of the things took place, so if you'd like to see those, I can post in my...
So, what do you think about it?
I do think their house could be on an Indian burial ground with all, like, the stuff they said and, like, finding arrowheads and then the TP stuff. Like, it has to be.
Yeah. Or something like that.
So that could have pissed somebody off.
Yeah, or had the attachment with it. You do not want to take something.
Especially, like, the natives.
Like that. Yeah. No.
Their energies, because they were super spiritual as is. So, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, you can enjoy looking at the things, but don't take a thing from a
or at least ask.
Haunted house or... There's so many things that you can go in with that. I would say it's probably, either the Indian burial ground right on their house or because they disturbed it by taking the arrow.
Yeah, so then they're like, here.
That's when it all started or what have you. Yeah, weird.
There's a lot of Native American stories like that.
Oh, yeah. There is. You gotta, I do want to go to the burial grounds sometime.
Grandma Karen.
Grandma Karen. Hi, Grandma Karen. So mine is titled Texas Demon House Part 1, posted by Gilly Kelsey. I tried posting this on the regular paranormal subreddit, but it was removed because it was text and had no pics, as this was at least 10 years ago for me now, but I think I can post it here. Wow.
Me too.
I know.
Me too.
Okay, guys, I've lived in this house for about 7 years, and I have lots of stories from it. Wow.
See, it's hard, ain't it?
Yeah, reading the
I
punctuation
think they type
and stuff, and that's fine.
Too.
They what?
They type fast too, so like in the correction, like it's
right, and you can do it from your phone, so it might be like through like texting.
Yeah.
And these are long, so it's like whoa. So yeah, bear with us, please. Okay, I'll restart that. Okay, guys, I've lived in this house for about 7 years, and I have a lot of stories from it. So sorry if this is long. I have ADHD, so I tend to ramble, but I'm going to keep it chronological and as structured as I can. I hear ya, Gilly. Same. So some background info. This is a small town in central Texas. The house is 1 story, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, with a front and back living room, a nice sized backyard with a palm tree, gazebo, and shed converted into a bar. It was right across the street from a Catholic church cemetery. And after we moved, it was right across the street from a Catholic church cemetery. And after we moved out, we found out the property used to be an orphanage in the 1960s that shut down because before that it was a funeral home with a crematorium that the orphanage was using to dispose of the bodies of the malnourished, abused children living in there. Oh my God. This is what happens when we don't pre-read these stories, but you actually are getting like...
Our actual reactions.
Yeah. Wow, that's horrific. That's where with the children. So me and my immediate family were initially hired to clean up the house after the previous tenants trashed it. By trashed, I mean trashed. The carpet when we cleaned it was light beige color, but it started out black. There were human-sized holes in the walls as if someone was slammed repeatedly all through the house.
God.
I know, right? Oh, it gets better. Dead chickens and other small animals were all over the floor, along with black candles, pentagrams on the walls and floor, and some mystery blood smeared on the back closet of the master bedroom.
Some black magic, dog.
Ooh, some rough
Rough shit.
shiz. Oh, nailed it. How'd we feel comfortable enough moving in after all we found? Well, when it was cleaned up, it was really a nice place, and the rent was only $450 a month. Wow, what I
Not
wouldn't
bad
pay
for
that.
me.
We should have known just based off the low rent. So the first incident, it was our first day in the house. I had most of my stuff in already, so my parents told me to wait at the new house while they went to our old house with my siblings to get more stuff. I decided to take a nap after putting a few things in my dresser. In the center of the dresser, I put a Mary candle my mom had given me. Might be important to note that the most satanic stuff was found in the master bedroom that had a walk-in closet, dressing room, and its own bathroom. This room became my room because everyone else was too scared to even set foot in it, including my parents.
So yeah, just put your kid in it then.
I know, here, yeah, go in there. You sleep in there. The whole 7 years we lived there, the only...
Oh my god. 7 years? Sorry, that's just a long time to live in like a house like that.
I know, right? And we haven't even, heard like scary stories yet. The whole 7 years we lived there, the only time anyone else but me set foot in the room was before we moved in while we were cleaning the house. My little brother got the middle bedroom and my little sister got the room next to his at the end of the hall next to the other bathroom, and my parents opted to turn the back living room into their bedroom. After rearranging my stuff on the dresser, I laid on my bed to take a nap while waiting for my family to return with more stuff. Not 2 minutes after I shut my eyes, the candle slid off the right side of the dresser to the floor with a thud. I was a little freaked out, but as I was by myself, I tried not to, so I tried rationalizing it, saying it was the wind or my dresser is crooked, slanted. I checked the dresser by pulling it away from the wall a smidge and putting a ball in the center of it to see if it rolled back, and it didn't. Then I checked all the doors and the windows to make sure that there wasn't a draft or something. I put the candle back in the center and laid back down. Not a minute or so after I shut my eyes, the candle slid off the left side this time, like someone was sliding it and fell. I said nope, and ran outside and waited, and ran outside and waited on the porch until my family got back. When they questioned why I was outside because it was summer and Texas is hellishly hot in the summer, I replied that I wanted some fresh air and sun, trying to play it off like they wouldn't think I was crazy. Second incident. This was after we had been living there a few months. I was asleep in my room with the door open because it made me feel better, and the rest of my immediate family were gathered in my sister's room down the hall telling each other ghost stories as it was close to Halloween. How clever. My mom said something along the lines of, "Y'all better stop telling that stuff before something happens." Right after she said that, my door slammed shut and I started screaming. Side note, when I was younger, I used to sleep talk/walk a lot, especially if there was paranormal activity in the house, as this wasn't the last time we lived in a haunted house, unfortunately. My mom urged my stepdad to go check on me, but he just said, "You go fucking check on her." So eventually they both came to check on me. So they compromised. They said once they opened the door, they saw me sitting in the bed with my eyes open, but glassy and not focused on anything. I kept saying, "Get off me, get off me, help." They were too scared to enter the room, so from the door they switched on the light and said, "Get out." At that moment, they said a black cloud lifted off me and I fell back in my bed with my eyes closed, fast asleep. Then they freaking left me there because they were too scared, it's all in caps, and told me about it in the morning. I knew they weren't lying because the dream I had the night before matched up with what they were saying, and they both looked kind of pale when they were telling me. Scaredy cat jerks leaving me in there.
Oh my god. If I was a parent, I'd be beating that demon up.
Well, I just would have ran in and got you.
Yeah. And ran out and let's sleep with me tonight. Like, not just leave you in there to die.
Well, I would get the whole family. We'd get the hell out. Like, that's what?
I feel bad for her, or him, or whoever.
I know, right? So, Texas Demon House Part 2.
Oh, great.
I've been exhausted with work, and this next part is kind of emotional for me as it involves a family friend passing away. Again, I'll try not to ramble, and I'll try to keep this structured as possible so it's easier to understand. Incident 3. We have a family friend named Donnie Ray. For some background on him, he was a family friend as long as I can remember, but some would say he was a bit of an odd character. He distrusted cars with a passion, so he rode his bike everywhere, even if it was 30 miles away. He also lived in an abandoned house and used a toilet seat over a bucket since there was no actual toilet, and set up his own irrigation up near a stream to the house so he could have water. He was a kind soul, and we loved when he would come to visit us. We mostly went to visit him, but sometimes he'd bike the 25 miles himself as a surprise visit. On this particular day, he came in the morning, and by midday, me, my mother, and Donnie Ray were chilling on the front porch while we were drinking mixed drinks and I had my sweet tea. My mom finished her drink and asked Donnie if he wanted another, as she was about to go inside and make herself one. He said sure, why not, and she went inside. Not 30 seconds later, my mom came from the side of the house with a different clothes on and walked up towards us. What's weird about this is to come from the side of the house, she would have had to go all the way to the back door and then all the way around again. We said, what are you doing? I thought you were going to make some drinks. She said, don't worry about that. We can just talk. She proceeded to talk about death and suffering, kind of in a laughing manner as if she found it enjoyable. We didn't say anything while she talked because we were still wondering how she changed her clothes so fast. Suddenly, in the middle of her talking, she said, I gotta go, and sprinted out around the side of the house. Not 30 seconds after that, my mom came back through the front door with 2 drinks in her hand and the original clothes on. We both stared back, and she was like, why you all tripping? And we told her that we had come around, and we told her that she had come around the house with different clothes on talking crazy. She said, she of course didn't believe us and thought we were just playing a joke on her. We dropped the subject and went back to chilling. After a bit, I wanted to go ride my bike. My mom was pretty strict growing up, so the only place I could ride my bike was to the church cemetery park lot across the street. I begged Donnie Ray to come with me since none of my school friends were allowed over, so I wanted the company while he was there. My mom told me no, of course, but he said it was all right, and we set off to ride bikes around the parking lot because that was as far as I could go. After a while, he said, hey baby, I want to show you something in a little. I said, okay, let's go to the grotto first, and we biked down to the grotto behind the church. We sat on the bench there, and he asked what the grotto was for, and I told him you could pray or just think if you want. We sat in silence for a few minutes till he said, follow me. He led me down the cemetery part, and we stopped in front of a grave. He said, that's my brother right there. He died when he was a young man. I said, I'm sorry, Donnie Ray. What was he like? He told me then, and then started crying and said, the angels have been talking to me, and they said that he's waiting for me. I asked, what do you mean? I'm gonna die soon, sweetheart. The angels have been telling me so for a while now. I said, are you sick? No, I'm not. I just don't know how I'm going to die. I just know it's my time soon. I was like, no, you're not gonna die, Donnie Ray. It's okay. It'll be okay, and it's okay to be scared. We hugged and stood there in silence for a little bit. Then wordlessly, we came back to the house. He spent a few more hours, then biked back home. Incident 4. A few months after that weird day, we were about to go to sleep when my stepdad got a call. It was Donnie Ray's mother telling us that he had gotten hit by a drunk driver while on his bike. They couldn't even find all his body parts. That's how hard he got hit. Everybody started crying and freaking out. Suddenly, a trash can in the kitchen we were all in started shaking. We froze, and my stepdad screamed, leave now, you're not welcome here, and it stopped. After a few minutes of us all standing around miserable, we shuffled off to bed. I thought back to what Donnie Ray had told me, and I cried into my pillow all night. And that is that.
That's it?
Yeah.
Mom, that's like a chapter book. That has potential.
I know, right? That's crazy.
I was invested.
I know, me too. That's why I was like, whoa.
Wonder if they posted more. Maybe we should see if they have like an update story.
Yeah,
that's a good one. You had me on the edge of my seat, dog.
I know, that was crazy.
That's so sad. I almost started crying.
It was really, really sad over the family friend, the eccentric family friend that rode his bike because he didn't trust cars, and then saying he's going to die. Some people, I think, just kind of know. I don't know, but probably the dreams or, how he said angels come visit, whatever. I do think some of that, but, like, the demon-y stuff, I don't like using that term. But the weird stuff that was happening at their house and stuff, yeah, that's crazy. And then to stay living there for 7 years.
Yeah, and then to not save your child? Like, I don't understand that.
Away. Yeah, I don't understand that either. I would have been like,
I feel so bad. Well, that story has good potential to be a movie, even if you really right? wanted it to.
Oh, absolutely! Wow,
that's a really good one.
Happened.
Yeah, we definitely need to. Did they put their name on there?
Yeah,
is their name? Okay, cool.
To look them up.
Look up. Yeah,
that was crazy. Yeah, I kind of want to know more.
It's like,
or what else happened in there? That's
you can't just leave us like that. Like,
I know, leaving us on the edge of our seats. That was creepy.
Now I'm gonna dream about that.
Like, so they got this house, and then to be able to rent it so cheap, they just had to clean it. So a bunch of bad stuff happened there.
The mother coming out, but it's not actually the mom. And then to talk about death, and then, like, that night he died. Like, it's just, Like, what?
That's crazy.
But it's nice that they got to see that together so she didn't feel alone, you know, when to tell
Right.
because if they really wanted to tell somebody, they could be like, well, we got 2 eyes here. So,
it wasn't just
just
one
her.
person seeing the crazy stuff at that one single location. Yeah, that's crazy.
But at least she knows that he's with his brother and he's okay.
Yes, that was kind of a...
And maybe he
sweet little thing
protected her
Yeah.
or something through going through all that stuff in the house.
Burn it down. So if listeners, if you have any stories like this that you want to send in, please send them in. We would love to read things a little better than what we just did.
Yeah, I was having a stroke there for a second.
I was too, but like we said, I believe they probably sent these in like via phone, so they were like texting with like their thumbs. So like trying to wrap your brain around it was like, wait a minute, what does that say?
Probably auto-corrected it to something else.
Yeah. But when they were really good stories, I enjoyed them. How about you, Lou?
Yeah, I like them a lot.
Yeah, we'll have to do this again. And after recording on a work day is like
exhausted.
It is. It sounds so much fun. Like all day we're like, yeah. And then
once you get into it, it's good. And then you start to get tired.
Oh, yeah.
And then just
absolutely
drag ass.
all work week. So again, if you have stories of your own or know somebody that does, or you want to tell their story, please send them in and email them at
paranormalxl. I'm gonna be here all night. You better just say it.
paranormalxl@writeme.com.
There you go.
Now what is it, Lou?
paranormalxl@writeme.com. When do I say the dot?
paranormalxl@writeme.com.
Oh.
What is it, Lou?
paranormalxl@writeme.com. Okay.
paranormalxl@writeme.com. Because I did not do Gmail.
Well,
fine. Because it stays linked into everything. Anyway.
I prefer that.
Anyhowsen. So, anything else, Lou?
No, but I'm going to be thinking about how that story is going to actually end. Or what they're up to now, you know, if they still live there.
One of those fan fiction things where we get to finish the books. That's a good book idea.
Or maybe there's stories about Donnie now that he's passed, so maybe she's seeing some things about that.
Crazy. All right, so until next time, guys, remember, don't yuck someone else's yum.
Ever.